Have you ever heard the Bible verse that says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children"? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you why rich people buy insurance, and specifically life insurance. Now, this conversation actually was sparked through another conversation that I was having with one of my clients. We were discussing some opportunities and some plans for life insurance for himself and his family. And what was interesting was there was a specific rider, is what it's called, that you can add to your insurance policy where you can guarantee the opportunity to purchase more insurance as time progresses, but you have a specific period of time in order to get access to that benefit. Now, the question was, well, why would I need to buy more insurance? And so I said, well, if you start to make more money, you would need to secure yourself from any type of external force that would come and limit that money. And the next question was, well, why is it that as I make more money, I need to buy more insurance? And that is when I said to him, well, the more money you make is the greater the risk that you are going to take. Now, that sounds confusing. That sounds taboo. It doesn't really make sense how, as I make more, I'm more of a risk. But it's just that. You should ask the opposite question. How is it that as I make more money, I'm subjected to greater risk? And the reason is because if anything external knows that there is money somewhere, whether it be creditors, whether it be lawsuits, all that money is subjected to some type of risk. This is why insurance was created. Insurance, in its simplicity, whether it be car insurance, life insurance, health insurance, what does it do? It transfers risk to a greater and bigger institution so that you don't have to bear the responsibility of whatever is needed financially in the event of a loss. I just gave you a quick lesson. So when you transfer that risk, you now protect your assets from all types of external forces that could minimize the ability for you to progress in your life. Now, in the life insurance world, there's two types. You have term insurance and then you have whole life insurance, which is what we would call permanent. Now, I'm not here to give you the pros and cons of each, but they both have their purposes in your life. No matter if you're young, old, or whatever. Now, it's important though for you to remember and always be mindful of is that if you are living, there is a need for some type of life insurance. Okay. Now, there's a difference though between life insurance and death insurance. Life insurance and death insurance are oftentimes intertwined, or the name itself is interchanged, but they're not the same thing. When we think of death insurance, we think of what? Death. When we think of life insurance, we think of life. But when people hear it, it's not the same connotations associated with the names. So I want to kind of make a separation before I tell you why rich people buy this. Death insurance is for the final expenses. It's for when you're about to die. It's for the caskets and the burials and the last wishes and things of that nature. But life insurance protects not just your life insurance protects your life cycle. Wow. Your life cycle. I want you to write that down. Life insurance protects your life cycle. So, what is the life cycle? It's my life, my income, my retirement, and my legacy. Say that with me. It's my life, my income, my retirement, and my legacy. That is my life cycle. It's from the time that I make an awareness or have a breath That's when life starts. But when life ends, your financial life should not end with you. Otherwise, you did not fulfill the assignment in the scripture that says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. That is what we would call legacy. Now, I want you to understand that you living is not your greatest asset when it comes to the context of life insurance. Your most valuable asset right now is your ability to earn an income. Now, that may sound crazy to you, but the reality is if you can't work or if something happens to you and you pass away and you're married, how will your wife take care of herself? And don't think it doesn't matter if you have children. So if you have children, that takes us to another level because now all of your income stops when you stop. So the reason why this is important is because it protects the life cycle, not just protecting just when it's time for you to transition. Because if you have no more income, you don't have any ability to serve your family at the highest in your highest value. Okay. Now, what we need to realize, especially us brothers, okay, if you're a man and you're watching me, your assignment to your home is to preserve it and to create a space where there's a legacy that can be um, transferred throughout generations. And that's why life insurance is important to people who are rich because the mindset of a rich person, hear me, the mindset of someone who's rich does not think exclusively on the short term. The mindset of the rich is also focused on the long term because they understand that they are not infinite. So when I stop, there has to be a financial inheritance that continues after me. So it's imperative that we consider this reality, right? We need to consider, okay, I may get sick, I may not be able to work, I may also die. So, how can I create a space for my family to be preserved, even if I am unable to work for a long period of time or I die? Now, this may be a conversation that's too high level for some of you. So, if it is, you might as well just log off right now. But for those who are mature and those who understand the necessity of legacy, this conversation is for you. Because imagine if you are married and you die and your wife has nothing. Now she may have to go to work. She may have to do other things. She may have to be all these other different things in order to make sure that she's sustained. So, what's more important? Is it the is it the small $200 a month that you're missing, or is it the family that is going to be preserved in the event of your transition? Now, the more money you make is the greater financial risk that's associated with your life. I hope you're understanding me. The more money that you make is the greater financial risk. Why? If something happens and you are a family of 100 million, $100,000, you got a mortgage, you have emergency fund. The amount of necessary insurance is not your income, but the amount of necessary insurance is the amount that is needed in order for there to be preservation. Okay? There's a difference between just survival and preservation. Survival is okay, you have enough to bury me. But preservation is you have enough to live beyond me. So taking the necessary steps to understand life insurance, yet also preparing yourself um to in it's not even an investment in the context of what an investment is, but it is an investment into your family. It's not an investment into the markets. It is an investment into your family though, because they will remember how you left them. Okay. Now, I want to kind of help you understand why rich people buy life insurance. I said this a little bit earlier, but I want to say it again. As you mature in your money mindset, you will start to see that short term pleasures are not even close to as valuable as the long term plan that you set in place. What do I mean? When you create a financial plan that incorporates the now, the soon, and the not yet, it takes a different level of intentionality and accountability when it comes to your financial decisions, your day-to-day financial decisions. Because now, although I still have things that I need to focus on today, I'm also considering how can I work today or what can I do today to plan for tomorrow. Okay? What if tomorrow never comes and I stop? So, would I rather want to be prepared for tomorrow than to wait until tomorrow to try to prepare for something that may never come? You hear what I'm saying? Now, the reason why there's three reasons that I'm going to give you as to why wealthy people, rich people buy insurance, life insurance. What did I just tell you? That the more money you have, the greater the risk. Not only does life insurance protect your assets, but it's a defense against wealth eroding factors. What is wealth erosion, right? What is erosion in general? Erosion is decay. It's minimization. It's limitation. It's when you're trying to grow, but there's something that's holding you back, right? And wealth erosion, it sometimes has nothing to do with you, but it does sometimes. But other times it has to do with the economy, what's going on in the world, interest rates, things of that nature. There are some eroding factors that we have control of. But then there are other eroding factors that we have no control of. For example, we don't necessarily have control, and we do and we don't have control over creditors. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But if we do what we're supposed to do, we will have more control. But what about lawsuits? What about the tax code? What about sickness? Uh, what about even death? You see the economy right now, right? The economy is crazy. Interest rates are crazy. Inflation is crazy. And all of those things are impacting your ability to ascend in wealth over time. Now, wealth erosion is one of the greatest factors that minimizes people's ability to ascend in their wealth. Think about it, right? If eggs cost $5 a carton for 12 and you make uh $25 an hour, 5 out of 25, that's 20% of your income, 20% of 1 hour's day of work is going towards eggs. So imagine the entire spectrum of all the things that you need. You need car note, car insurance, health insurance, other groceries. You may need to go to physical therapy. There's all these different factors that impact your ability to ascend in wealth. So when you have life insurance, how does it protect against lawsuits? Well, If there's a lawsuit, they can't take the money if it's built right. If if a creditor comes after you die, in certain states they can't even take the money. When it comes to taxes, not only does the cash value in permanent insurance grows tax deferred, but the distributions are tax free up to certain limits, of course. If you got like millions of dollars, and yeah, that's another conversation. So, and it also protects against sickness because if you have a chronic illness or any type of issue, disability, sometimes there are insurance policies that will help you in the event those things are a reality for you. And then of course death. So there's a preservation that's associated when people get life insurance. So the reason why rich people get life insurance is because it makes sure that their money can still grow even no matter what the economy does. So as cash value increases now, what is cash value? I didn't even tell you what that was. If you don't know, cash value is what is built in of a whole life insurance policy that allows them or people to take in or grow in interest between 3 and 6% most times on a good day. And then there are some insurance policies that can grow depending on the type up to 15%, whatever it looks like. It just depends. Um, and it grows tax deferred. So not only are you paying for insurance that will protect your life, but you're also establishing some type of wealth accumulation built in. So then if you want to pull from that, what they would call take a loan against the policy, it will allow you to do so that you can invest in other places, do all the different things. This is why some people use insurance for investing in real estate. They use it to pay for children's education. There are so many different uses for this. But what does all this do? This is all tax free. So what is that doing? That's keeping the tax man away, but it's also helping you build something that you don't have to worry about creditors. Now your child can go to school debt free. Now you can buy a house without having to worry about, a down payment. All these different things, right? So then the next reason why wealthy people buy life insurance is because it initiates the wealth cycle. It not only does it initiate it, but it also sustains it. What is the wealth cycle? You might ask. The wealth cycle is the creation, accumulation, the preservation, and the distribution of wealth, resources, financial resources. So the wealth creation aspect is you making money, learning how to build a business, learning how to maximize a skill, investing in property, whatever that is. The accumulation is like multiplication in a sense. So now things are starting to add up. It's starting to get big. So then entering into this phase, once you've accumulated enough resources and assets, now it's time to preserve them. How do you preserve them? Through asset protection. This is what life insurance does. This is what car insurance does. This is what disability, long-term care, all these types of insurances protects your assets. So if you want your assets to be protected, get you some life insurance. Okay. Now, it also helps in the distribution because when you have a life insurance policy, you can set a beneficiary. Now, there are some people who are high level and who will create a trust for their family, and whoever dies, the money goes to the trust that allows the trust to buy more life insurance for somebody else on the family. So when they dies, it's a continual what? Distribution cycle so that the wealth can continue in the family. What would happen, right? What would happen if a family created a family trust and everybody got life insurance and made the beneficiary the trust, right? When someone transitions or dies or needs an investment, they can access or take a loan against the insurance, right? And then use that, whether it be if it's for an investment, do that for the investment. But if it's for the death, they can use the proceeds to pay for the services, but then use a lot of the rest of the death benefit to buy more insurance. What does that do? It creates a consistent flow of resources within the confines of the family. This is how people stay wealthy. This is how people transfer generations of wealth from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 generations. It starts when you decide that you want to create wealth, you want to accumulate it, you want to preserve it, and you want to distribute it even beyond your time. But that requires a mindset of selflessness. This is why the Bible says that a good man prepares an inheritance or supplies an inheritance for his children's children, because a good man is not looking for a quick fix or is not looking at even what all of that they can do while they're living. No, they're looking ahead to see all the opportunities that will present themselves in children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and beyond. So a good man or woman will look and see, okay, I have grandkids. They may go to school, they may go to college, they may want to start a business, they may want a charity. There's a community in the area that, or a community center in the area that needs funds. What happens if I make the community center my beneficiary? Now the community center will have hundreds of thousands of dollars just because of my sacrifice. This is what it means to be sacrificial beyond just you, right? Now, now beyond that, yeah. One of the reasons why rich people buy life insurance is because it minimizes confusion and uncertainty at death. One of the hardest parts of life is death, because it makes you know that life is not continual on earth. It makes you know that, at some point I am going to transition, and this earthly body will end, and this on this earth is final, right? It makes you, really consider your life. I remember when I've had family members who did not have life insurance, did not have an estate. People had to, take out loans and, take up offerings and sell dinners because of this. And it was very unfortunate to be around not these, but my family in these times where we want to grieve in peace, but can't because somebody did not have or take the initiative to take the next steps to invest in themselves or in their family. Now, this isn't to sell you anything by any means, but this is to make you understand that the rich mindset does not think about only today, but a rich mindset is thinking about the legacy that will extend beyond them. When I work with wealthy clients, their considerations are always, what about my children, my children's children, and my community? They have a legacy oriented mindset. So the reason why rich people buy life insurance is not because they're not afraid to die. This is not something that everyone loves to talk about. No, rich people buy life insurance because it's a way for their legacy to live beyond them. And if you are not someone that is considerate of that, then I doubt that you're going to be rich. It's wait, I thought about something. I was talking to, when I first started, in the financial industry, I would hear people say, "I'm not about to leave my children all this money. They need to struggle like I did." Well, why? You know how selfish it is for you to make your child struggle? because you struggle, it makes me know that you're not a good man or woman. Your child should want to live live beyond your legacy. You should want to create a legacy for them that when your transition comes, that they look forward to, yeah, they'll grieve and they'll mourn and all that stuff, but they look forward to taking what you gave them and investing it somewhere else so that your legacy can live on. It's very selfish to never consider your family when you're making financial plans. Truly. Because if you have the mindset of scarcity, hear me, if you have the mindset of scarcity, you will only see finances as a short term or in the short term, and you'll never consider the possibilities of the long term. What does that mean? You will never see beyond you because you are so distracted by your own lack that it keeps you from being able to see the opportunities that are beyond you. What do I mean? I'm talking about your children. They'll live beyond you. Your grandchildren will live beyond you. So why not prepare a legacy for them that they can live beyond? And teach them the principles that are associated with it. Because it's not enough to give kids money. It's not enough to give a child an inheritance when they're 18 or whatever. No, they need to be trained in the way that they should go so when they get older they won't depart from it. What are they supposed to be trained in? In the way of money. So it's important that rich people buy life insurance because it keeps legacy going. And if you want to be someone who carries this mindset, you need to stop considering yourself only and start considering those that will come after you. My name is JaQuan Gamble. I hope this helps you understand the risks of being rich, but also helps you understand why the rich buy life insurance to mitigate the risk. Peace.